That's why I'm running for Senate.
Dr. Oz has announced a run for U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania as a Republican. So I'm going to get to my thoughts on this, as well as some more information about Dr. Oz. But first, let me play for you his announcement video.
My parents came to America to find a better life, and they did. I attended great universities, raised a family, and became a successful surgeon. I invented a heart valve that saves thousands of lives. Then I started a TV show to advocate for you taking control of your health, and took on the medical establishment to argue against costly drugs and skyrocketing medical bills. But COVID has shown us that our system is broken. We lost too many lives, too many jobs, and too many opportunities because Washington got it wrong. They took away our freedom without making us safer and tried to kill our spirit and our dignity. As a heart surgeon, I know how precious life is. Pennsylvania needs a conservative who will put America first, one who can reignite our divine spark, bravely fight for freedom, and tell it like it is. That's why I'm running for Senate. I'm Dr. Oz, and I approve this message.
All right, so there is one quote from this video that really stands out to me. But before I get to that, I just want you to be able to put aside your feelings, your idea of who Dr. Oz is. Maybe you watched his show, maybe you watched in the past, maybe you liked his advice, maybe he's helped you, maybe his show actually helped you. You have to be able to put that aside and understand that he is running as a Republican senator. He says here, quote, "I took on the medical establishment to argue against costly drugs and skyrocketing medical bills." Right now, there is the Build Back Better agenda, the budget bill, that is sitting in the Senate because of Manchin and Sinema holding it up, but also because the entire Republican Party is not in support of it. There isn't one Republican in support of that budget bill. And in that budget bill, a major piece of it is the ability for Medicare to negotiate down drug prices. If it passes, there will actually be a limitation on the amount that Big Pharma can charge you for certain pharmaceuticals. And every single Republican is holding that up. Yet here, Dr. Oz wants you to think that he cares about taking on the medical establishment. He cares about costly drugs and skyrocketing medical bills. If that were the case, then he would be in support of Medicare for All, which removes the need for private insurers. That's the medical establishment. That's who's making money off of you. But he's not in support of Medicare for All. He's running as a Republican. What bothers me about this is the people that will be fooled by him. He gained this trust by being on television, by being part of, the Oprah Club. Oprah gave him a platform. And he's now used that to enrich himself and to now run as a Republican, pretending to care about people. Even if Dr. Oz was an angel, even if he was the perfect person, he can't do anything in the Republican Party. He's one man, one vote. So even if he actually did think Medicare for All was the way to go, he's not going to get it through the Republican Party. They are in bed with Big Pharma and the healthcare, the insurance industry. It's so disingenuous. Now, I mean, the other issue here, of course, is his history and other people calling him out, other doctors calling him out. For example, this from 2015, top doctors urge Columbia to sever ties with Dr. Oz over quack treatments. Letter from 10 prominent physicians says we are surprised and dismayed that Columbia would permit Dr. Oz to occupy a faculty position at Ivy League school. And I got to mention here, even if you believe in some of these quack treatments, and look, I believe in certain treatments that are not approved by the medical establishment, but that, again, we have to go back to he is running as a Republican. He is running in a party that has no interest in actually helping people. That's all about enriching massive corporations and the wealthy. And that isn't I'm not trying to claim here that the Democratic Party is a perfect party and, they're all angels. Of course not. They also largely are in their positions to help massive corporations and the wealthy. But at the very least, there are members within the Democratic Party that actually that actually want to help people, that support Medicare for All, that are not taking corporate money, that are fighting against the establishment. But when it comes to Republicans, It's all talk. It's all just smoke and mirrors. It really is. Again, this is disgusting to me because he knows the kind of trust he has built up over the years across political lines, and now he's using that to further enrich himself and further his own career by running as a Republican. Last thing here from The Guardian, Oz may also have to explain why he isn't running in New Jersey, where he has lived for 2 decades before voting in Pennsylvania elections this year by an absentee ballot registered to his in-laws' address in suburban Philadelphia. Oz's longtime home is above the Hudson River in Cliffside Park, New Jersey, overlooking Manhattan, where he films his TV show and practices medicine. So, Dr. Oz isn't even from Pennsylvania. He's from New Jersey. Now, look, this issue for me personally isn't as big of an issue as the other issues I mentioned, him running as a Republican, him not supporting Medicare for all, him not understanding or not caring that not a single Republican is for the budget bill, which would lower prescription drug prices. Those issues are clearly more important. This is a third tier issue, but regardless, it shows you that this is more about him trying to find another way to further his platform, further his influence, further his wealth, and no real interest in actually helping people. Because if he did actually care about helping people, then he would understand that he has no power in the Republican Party. But, it's just, this bothers me because I know a lot of people will be fooled. There are people that are apolitical, don't pay too much attention to this stuff, will just see, hey, I know Dr. Oz. I recognize this guy. I watched this show a few times. I like when he recommended that one thing that I use that helped me. Sure, I'll vote for him. Not realizing that you're voting for a Republican that is simply going to go along with every other Republican senator. He has no power as a singular vote in the Senate. Whereas if he ran as a Democrat or as an independent who caucuses with Democrats, then he would be able to at least have others around him that he could work on legislation with to pass, various provisions or whatever that would actually benefit people's lives. But he's running in a party that is just completely corrupted by corporate money, by big donor money. And on top of that, of course, when it gets to the cultural issues and the racism and the bigotry, it's overt and out there. And that's where the Republican base is. So, I don't know. We'll see how many people he's able to fool. Again, this is for a primary, so he's not necessarily the candidate yet, but clearly he's the biggest name. And I would be surprised at this point if he didn't become the Republican nominee. But pay attention to who is running as the Democrat, because right now there's a good chance that John Fetterman, who is a solid union guy, supports universal health care, supports higher wages, actually cares about people, there's a good chance that he may become the Democratic nominee. And if that were the case, the choice is clear. But unfortunately, the name of Dr. Oz may be too powerful for anybody else to be able to overcome.